as I'm building myself up, like I'm recognizing now that I have the tools and the skills to help other people as well. And so I always try my best to, as I'm going up, bring others along up with me.
Meet Erika Nguyen, a rising star here at UST, senior youth facilitator for the Garden, majoring in business, finance, and international business, and a student leader here at the University of St. Thomas. In this episode of BOLD, we talk about Erika's experience volunteering with nonprofits, with the community on campus, and stepping into leadership in our communities. If you're interested in leadership, community engagement, and making an impact through your college years, you won't want to miss this episode of BOLD. We're here today with a special guest, your very own from UST, Erika Nguyen. Can I get a round of applause? Woo! Thank you so much for coming out to the show. We appreciate you coming out. So before we go into it, right, I know you're very involved. I want to take a step back and talk about your journey to UST. So, how did you get here?
Well, initially, I didn't really know where I wanted to go. But one of my friends, his name was Michael, he told me about Rising Stars and, the community that UST had. And he told me about, how they would help you financially and as a student, have a lot of support here at UST. Mm-hmm. And so, I felt drawn to it and I got accepted. And I also got accepted into Rising Stars.
As a student coming into Rising Stars, what can they expect?
As a student for Rising Stars, I would say you can expect a lot of support. Like Rising Stars is there for you from the moment you apply to your monthly check-ins to pairing you with an internship, allowing you to really flourish without the worry of not having the right resources.
So as a Rising Star student, you had opportunities to get to internships. Where were you placed at? Or how's that been?
Well, coming into Rising Stars, the past few years, I've actually been paired with United Way Greater Houston. And I wanted to go into a tech in some way or shape or form, and I didn't really know how to. But through my Rising Stars internship, I had the opportunity to do tech research. So we did a database. We're figuring out and programming different ways neighbors are able to access different resources by themselves, with still having the support of United Way being there and being able to have their needs met.
Yeah, United Way is a big nonprofit here in Houston, and I just want to say, you're very involved all throughout campus, especially outside of your community. What motivates you to keep doing that?
I think back to whenever I was younger, I always didn't have the right resources, and my community was what really pushed me and built my foundation. So through them giving me resources, my teachers sending me to this boarding school program where my eyes really opened to how big the world really was. I just became aware of all the different accesses and things that are around me that I could use to build myself up. And so as I'm building myself up, I'm recognizing now that I have the tools and the skills to help other people as well. And so I always try my best to, as I'm going up, bring others along up with me.
It's perfect. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
Going into all these, what was the beginning? Maybe what was the moment where you started getting involved and putting yourself out there, maybe helping out?
Here at UST
or in general? In general.
Well, I actually started doing community work, or I started off I need to do this for my resume or whatever. But I started off lion dancing. So I started off in my own community down in Bel Air, southwest side of Houston, where we lion dance to fundraise money to build schools and get school supplies and homes for, children in Vietnam. So we were using the money that we raised for during Chinese New Year's or Lunar New Year's, and we were able to bring that all back to Vietnam and build schools and homes for those who needed it. And so that was my first initial thing. And I slowly grew out of it. Not in the way of not helping others, but I wanted to expand my horizons. And so I, continue to reflect in myself and different places where I've been impacted and have influenced me. And the Gulfton area where I grew up and where I went to school just ended up coming back to me. I actually left the Gulfton area around the end of middle school, and I moved to a little bit more of A-Leaf side. But at the like near my end of freshman year, I got reconnected to one of my middle school teachers where he roped me into a program where it was called the Gulfton Youth Coalition, and the whole idea was to provide space for young people, a third space for young people to be vulnerable, ask themselves tough questions, and really have that opportunity to, be curious and be vulnerable. And so through there, was initially a participant, and then now I became I then started leading leading the programming, and now like we officially have a youth center partnered with the St. Luke's Methodist Church.
Congrats.
Thank
That's
you,
really good.
thank you. It's called the Garden, and we're pretty much we now have a physical space for it because back then it was during COVID. We now have a physical space to provide young people to have a third space.
Mm-hmm. That's great.
Thank
so
you.
Speaking of opportunities, right? Right now at Rising Stars, right? There's actually an event occurring. So let's go check that out and let's go see how Rising Stars are doing.
Yeah.
We'll see you there. And we're here at the amazing Rising Stars house. Tell us, what is going on right now, and like what is this place?
So we are actually in Rising Star's new home. The house was purchased last year, and we had the opening house last year as well. But today we are having the Kelp Pantry Cookout, where we wanted to showcase all the amazing resources that Rising Stars has, including the Kelp Pantry and the clothing closet here at UST.
And I think we have someone special, got someone familiar. We know. Hi, man. Tell us a little bit, man. So this is your event, right? You're one of the leaders here at Rising Stars. Tell us, what can students expect when it comes to sort of these events that y'all are throwing?
Of course. So here at Rising Stars, we're going to have a lot more events. But basically, these events are to welcome students, whether you're a Rising Stars student or part of the UC community, or if you're faculty and staff, just to come out, have a good time, get some food, whether we cook it or if it's from the Kelp Pantry to take home. It's just a great way for students to come together, bring the USC community together as well. And then we also have a Rising Stars clothing closet. Like Erika said, it's part of one of the additions that we have to this house where students can come and get clothes for whether for their internship or for a job, an interview, whatever it may be. And they can take it home with them and then have it with them and be prepared for life, pretty much. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Jaime. It's always good seeing you, brother. It's always good seeing you, man. So what is so important about having a space like this on campus?
With UST being a commuter school, people are always going in and out, and at sometimes school becomes a transaction. You're here for class, you're here to do your work, and then you head out, right? But here with the Rising Stars house, like you have an opportunity to, have your own space. We're here as a Rising Stars community. We're talking with each other. We're networking with each other. We're building connections with each other. And having that sense of belonging or a place of ownership of something on campus will always draw you back and just makes you feel really supported throughout your college journey.
Well, thank you so much, guys. We appreciate that. And let's go back to the studio where we'll continue the interview. See you there. Back. It was great to see the Rising Stars building and the Kelp Pantry Cookout. So going back into the garden, right? Going back into being involved outside, what are some of the events you guys throw at the garden?
So we're still, we just finished our first year of like truly having our doors open. And one thing that we really wanted to have for young people is to, celebrate themselves, right? Mm-hmm. And so we opened the opportunity for young people to really like lead us. And technically I was in that position too, but I'm slowly growing out of it. But we have a lot of events where there are things called life groups that we had. We had a fiesta to celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month. And, we're still building up our culture there at the garden right now. But during one of like pre-days before the garden, one thing that we hosted was a summer camp. Like whenever you're younger or as any person, you kind of think back of summer and reminisce, right? And one of those things that people always talk about is camp. Mm-hmm. And so, as a young person, sometimes you don't have that exposure, the resources to get to that camp. And we wanted to provide that for people. So me alongside with my coworker Alex, and our small team of four. We've got a couple of volunteers, including my brother, and we hosted a camp at YMCA Camp Cullen. And so we had people, just come out and enjoy themselves. People experienced archery for the first time, swimming in a lake for the first time, and you kind of don't understand like how lucky you have it until you realize that someone else doesn't have that opportunity, and we've just looked back and become very grateful for moments like that. And with camp, it's kind of those like core summer memories that kind of just stick out to you the most, right? And so a lot of fond memories were made during camp, and we hope to keep doing that.
Yeah, that's great. And why do you think it's so important to have like those opportunities out for students that maybe can't?
Well, I think that because all young people deserve, opportunity. And it's just a reality that young people don't have access to those things. And every young person deserves it. We want them to not able to experience being good at basketball or going, pro just because back when they were younger, they didn't have that support or the proper training or the exposure. And so different things like that. We really emphasize the importance of, that access and bringing that to our young people.
So moving forward from just being, involved outside of campus, let's move about inside here. Like on USC, you're very involved. You're involved with FSA and also with CSA. What led you to get involved here on campus as well?
Well, my initial involvement was kind of just on the whim. My freshman year, I didn't know that the interviews were coming up, or how to become a CAP intern, or how to become an innovator, things like that. It kind of like passed over me, and I didn't realize that. And so, kind of my freshman year, I was kind of just wandering. But I found myself to join FSA my freshman year to kind of throw myself out there. But regarding like student leadership here on campus, it was again also on the whim because I missed all of those interviews. Like I expected, going to my sophomore year, like, still wandering. But my roommate, Teresa, she actually was an OL, and then she had the opportunity to become RSO chair. And then just out of the blue, she was like, "Hey, girl, RSO's treasurer is open. Do you want to do it?" I was like, "Sure, why not?" So I did it. And also like, treasury like aligns with my major. I'm very, I like to build or create communities, wherever I go. And I think finding a spot or feeling the sense of belonging is really important for anyone. And through RSO, RSO is in charge of all of the clubs, and pretty much what that is like having and building up all of the different communities here on campus. So whether you like anime, to whether you're into marketing, whether you like international studies, things like that, like you can find yourself a place on campus. And I really enjoyed having a part in organizing and uplifting all of those communities.
So what's next? What's the next big thing? What's the next thing you want to get involved with here on campus, or any big plans you got?
This is controversial.
Wait, what?
No, I'm joking. Well, as of right now, I'm involved with CSA as PR, and I didn't realize how much I enjoyed like doing rec trips and things like that. And Megan is graduating this year.
Megan.
So hopefully I have not thrown this idea out to anyone yet, but I do kind of want to, take over CSA.
You heard it here first.
Yeah. Megan, don't hate me. No, but I really I really do enjoy working with my team right now. I have Herm, Alyssa, Megan, and Kylie. And we've just been like, they were strangers to me at the beginning of the semester. And, we have our own little, friend group here, and we can rely on each other. And also our advisors have been super supportive and really pushing us, because all of us came into CSA with a vision, and having that initiative really pushed us forward with our most recent events. Like Kelpalooza was great. And then we have an upcoming one for Spooky Pickleball. So all of these different twists I feel like are super creative, and W to Megan and our team for creating and executing all of this.
So for future students coming in that want to be involved, want to be leaders, what would your advice be to them?
I would say to just say yes. You will never know what you like or what you dislike until you try it. And whether that means like you're, meeting new people and you're becoming uncomfortable. Being uncomfortable is healthy. It means you're pushing yourself, you're changing, and you just have the opportunity to learn more about yourself. So go out there.
Well, thank you so much, Erika, for coming to the show. It means a lot. We appreciate it. And we'll see you in the next one. Stay bold, guys.